Warning. The following shows scenes some car enthusiasts will find painful to watch, including the sound of breaking carbon fibre. Viewer discretion is advised. Oh, the sound of crunching carbon fibre is truly gut-wrenching, isn't it? I'm sorry about that, but I did warn you. Look, I'm having to refilm the intro to this video to give it more context because, as you can see, things didn't go to plan. So we're quite fortunate on this channel, we get fairly regular press loan cars. So manufacturers send them to us for a week at a time. I then use them day to day with my children to gather real world insights and opinions. And then towards the end of the week, I film a review with my children to show you guys what it would be like using various exciting cars as a dad car, as a family car. We're the only channel that does this, by the way. So if you are a parent or a grandparent, please hit the subscribe button. And with me reviewing multiple cars week in, week out for well over 2 years, it was inevitable. It was going to happen at some point. A car would break down whilst we were reviewing it. It's just such a shame. It was a Lotus. I love Lotus. And yes, lots of trouble, usually serious, yada, yada, yada. I've heard it all before when I was a proud Lotus owner myself. But what you're about to see is a series of very unfortunate events. It just keeps getting worse and worse. And at the end of this video, I will be telling you what went wrong, the stupid, avoidable thing that caused this horrible series of events. And so what you're about to see now, in the interest of transparency and authenticity, is the beginning of my review of the Eletra that I started filming when the car was working fine and I had no idea that it was about to break. So you'll get to see this all happen in real time. Overseas investments in heritage British car brands is triggering a lot of outrage in car enthusiasts at the moment. Today we have a Lotus which appears to contradict everything that Lotus have ever stood for. However, they've not gone full Jaguar, have they? They've not deleted their entire heritage and then trying to rebrand themselves as some sort of lifestyle company. Lotus are still very much embracing their heritage. They still make the mighty Emira, which is an internal combustion engine car that you can get today with a manual gearbox. And so in this video, me and my children are going to be taking a look at what a 2.7 ton family car with over 900 horsepower, what would this be like to use as a daily with a family? And for me, as somebody who has owned a Lotus in the past, who would perhaps describe themselves as a bit of a Lotus purist, what do I honestly think of the Eletra? So we find out. My name's Ben. Welcome to Dadcars. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So to kick things off, let's focus on the looks of the Eletra. We've got a Lotus back on the channel. Yeah. We've done Evoras before, haven't we? Yeah. First time I drove an Evora was with you. And Evora is a legendary dad car, by the way. But the looks of the Eletra, first thing that you notice is that it's huge. Yeah, it's massive. So it's 5.1 meters long and about 2 meters wide, or to put it another way, the same size as a full fat Range Rover. So it's massive, isn't it? And subscribers to the channel will know that it's hard for me to get excited about the looks of any SUV. I mean, we had a Lamborghini Urus on the channel and the Urus failed to give me any form of real fizz. But if the brief for the Eletra was to make a super SUV, I think they've nailed that brief. You know, all of the styling cues and everything are all performance focused, aren't they? I mean, look, let's do something fun. Let's do aero hide and seek. How do you do that? Let me show you. Look, it's got an active spoiler, look. So the spoiler comes up at high speed and it gives you an additional over 100 kilograms of downforce when you're at high speed. But also when you're just walking around the car, it just pops up randomly for some reason as well. Let's do the hide and seek, right? There we go, I can see you there. So that's for channeling the air through the car. Oh, cool. But that's not the only one. Let's see if we can spot another one. There we go, there's another bit there as well. That's cool, isn't it? Yeah, there we go, there's another one. Is that cool? Yeah. And then one more on the bonnet there as well. So how many bits of carbon fibre can you spot? This is ultra lightweight and super strong material, yeah, that you normally get on race cars. So let's go around and see how many bits you can count. So there's one here. Okay. Oh yeah, well done on the wheels as well. Oh yeah, the blues there. It's hard to spot, isn't it, because it's a black car. Yeah. I don't think a black car with black carbon fibre is the best combo. Same with the same wheel again. Same there again. There's some there. On the back as well, little spoiler lip there in carbon fibre. Some more there all around the back as well. Oh yeah, on the wing cameras. We'll come onto the wing cameras when we take it out for a drive, because Daddy's got some grumbles about those. Yes, and then up there as well. Yeah, so as I say, you know, the SUV form is a very limited form to actually do much with styling-wise, but I think Lotus did as good as they possibly could have done in terms of making a super SUV. I think it looks great. Now, just before we check out the interior on this car, I just want to make the point, oh look, sweetie, there's some more carbon fibre there.
Oh yeah.
I just want to make the point that I don't think the carbon fibre pack on the Eletra is worth buying, okay? This is supposed to be a usable daily family car, isn't it? And to have carbon fibre around all of the sections which will most easily get damaged and scratched in day-to-day use will just make it quite stressful. For me personally, I think carbon fibre should be for a car which spends most of its life on the driveway or in the garage. Right, sweetie, do you want to get inside? Because it's really cold, isn't it? So the door handles are a bit strange, aren't they? They pop open when you come close to the car.
That's just weird.
But there's been a few times that they then go back in and then you've got to press the button to make it work, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
Right, so we've been using this for the last few days. What's your first impressions of it, sweetie?
I like the roof.
You like the roof?
Yeah.
Yeah, and at a touch of a button, you can make that so that it's shaded, can't you?
Yeah, you can. It's carbon fibre.
Oh yeah, look, you've got some more carbon fibre inside, because this has got the interior carbon fibre pack as well. I'm pleased to say that whilst this is undeniably a huge SUV, you do at least get fantastic room in the back. A grumble I always make about 2 metre wide SUVs with only 2 sets of Isofix in the back is that it's annoying. You know, you should be able to at least have it as an option to have 3 sets of Isofix across, because there's enough space, but obviously you can always use a 3 or a 4 across multi-max seat in the back, and I've measured and there is enough space to put one of those in here if, like me, you have more than 2 children. As we move into the front seats, I just want to point out something that I've noticed over the last few days. If you open the door really quickly, the window doesn't drop down quick enough and it catches up there, which you can forgive that in like a 20-year-old car, but in something which is brand new, and this should have plenty of juice to bring that down nice and quickly. And stepping into the driver's seat, something else you notice as well is that this isn't a super high car. It's not one that you've got to kind of step up and into like the Range Rover. But look, in here, everything is wrapped in beautiful Napa leather.
Really nice.
It's really nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels so like smooth.
It feels high quality, doesn't it? Very high quality leather. And then you've got Alcantara everywhere as well.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Can you see anything that's just plastic?
No.
Look, even the door sills are wrapped in Napa leather. And this is where you start to get the sense of luxury, the sense of premium. Because it does feel lovely, doesn't it?
It does feel lovely.
And I mean, you'd hope so though, because these aren't cheap cars. Even the base model starts from around £90,000, and then this, the Eletre R, starts from around £130,000, but it does feel premium. And I think this interior carbon fibre pack, I think it's about £3,500.
Really? Just this?
Just for the carbon fibre bits.
I can't help you with that, but you can try in the health app.
What's he talking about? I think you can talk to the car as well. Do you want to actually ask it a question? Hey Lotus.
What would you like me to find for you now?
Can you put a game on the screen, please?
I'm sorry, but I can't help you with it right now.
When I'm out driving this, I need to make sure I don't say Lotus, because then it's going to start talking to me.
I am learning this function. Please try again later.
Okay, so we're just getting in now to try and take this for a drive, and for some reason, it's not detecting the key. You've been playing this game for the last like 10 minutes. It's saying the key is being detected. Please make sure the key is placed in the charging area. So I'm putting the key on the charging area, pressing the button. Now the problem is, where this car doesn't have an on-off switch, it's not like I can switch it off and back on again. So I don't know what to do. Right, let's see if I can get out and lock the car. Yeah, the fob's not even responding for some reason. Why is it not letting me go into gear? The key is being detected. This hasn't happened before. Been driving it around for the last few days, and I've not had this issue yet. I don't know what to do. There's no on-off switch. I don't know, no idea what is going on. So normally, when you're this far away from it, the lights will start blinking and the handles will go in, but it's almost like the system has crashed. The computer's frozen. And yeah, I don't know what to do. Yeah, it's weird. It's not even locking now. So the handles are just staying out. And even when I walk away, normally you walk away from the car and then it all shuts itself down by automatically. But it's not doing it. This is honestly the first time this has happened.
Do we have to film it today?
Yeah, we do. Now I'm trying to power off and see if that does it. So I just got to wait 30 seconds. Right, so we're off now. Let's see if the car locks itself when I walk away now. No, the handles are still open. How bizarre. So weird. Normally they're constantly popping in and out when you're walking around the car. And we've still got the same problem. It won't go into gear.
Can we go inside, Daddy?
Well, yeah, I mean, we can't sit in here all day, can we?
No.
Yeah, let's go inside. I'll move the key away from it again and then see if it suddenly shuts itself or not. Try the help function. Roadside assistance. Let's try this.
To Lotus Assistance. To help us improve our service, we may record your call. We get it. Car trouble is stressful. Our team are all ears and ready to help, if possible.
God, that's
if you're
loud.
near moving
I
traffic, you should wait well
won't
away
turn
from
down.
your vehicle, preferably behind a barrier.
Oh.
If you must stay in your vehicle, wear your seatbelt. Welcome. Your call is in a high priority queue. Please continue to hold and your call will be answered shortly.
God, why can't I turn down the volume? Oh, it's hurting my ears.
Please continue to hold and your call will be answered shortly.
God, it's loud.
Please continue to hold. Please continue to hold. Please continue to hold. Please continue to hold.
Afternoon, Lotus Pan European. How can I help?
Oh, hi there. Yeah, I wonder if you can. Just sat in an Eletra at the moment. I've got it on press loan because I'm just filming a review of it. And for some reason, it's been fine for the last few days, but for some reason it now won't go into drive, and it keeps popping up saying that it's like searching for the fob, even though I've got the fob in my hand and I've placed it on the mat. It's basically like it won't detect that the fob is there. And even when I walk away from the vehicle with the fob in my hand, like the car doesn't lock anymore either.
Yeah. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, okay, well, we'll have to come out and have a look, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, is that like an issue that you've had with any others, or?
Yeah, it does happen, yeah. What's your name, please?
My name's Ben Marshall.
Do you have a contact phone number at all?
Yeah, it's 07725.
Right, what's your location, please?
So fortunately, it's still just parked on my driveway. I drove it this morning and it was all fine.
Okay.
I moved it onto the driveway, so...
Yeah, that's fine. Should be there between, say, 3:30 and 5:30.
Okay, today, yeah?
Today, yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right, no, fab. And there's nothing else that I can sort of just try myself here, or...
Don't think so if the key... No, I don't think there is, to be honest. If the key's not being recognised. We need to come and have a look.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your help. Bye-bye. Right, so, yeah, God, I don't know what to do with that. Well, my phone's ringing, hang on. Hello? What's the call regarding? Oh, okay, oh, hi. Yeah, hi. What do you think it is? So you think it's the smaller battery that might have drained? Is that what?
Yeah.
It's basically just saying that it's looking for the key. So it's like it can't. It's like it. Yeah, the key is being detected. The key is being detected. Make sure you place it on the mat, and then you put it on the mat, and then you try to do it, and then it just keeps showing you that same message.
Yeah, no, we'll get someone out to have a look for you anyway, and we'll go from there, okay?
Okay, all right. No, that's cool. Thank you. So he seemed to think that there's the smaller 12-volt battery, which this has, as well as the main battery with it being an EV, and he thinks that smaller one might have drained potentially, whilst we were just filming that first part of this review, just opening the doors and opening the boot, and then my daughter was playing on the screen for about 10 minutes just playing that game, he thinks they might have drained enough to the point where this is now broken down. This is crazy because the main battery for this is huge. It's 112 kilowatts, massive battery. So honestly, my little stupid brain, who doesn't know a great deal about EVs, I don't understand why that is ever possible. Surely that smaller essential battery that is required in order for you to not break down, surely there should be a feature where that can kind of trickle charge from the main battery. Now this is so frustrating because honestly, my aim with this video was I wanted to focus on the positives. That Lotus have also now got an arm to them which are creating mass market cars for the future, which can hopefully mean long-term success, and that they can then continue to make, you know, the cars that we love as well, like the Emira. But here's the problem, right? So Lotus enthusiasts like me, we always forgive Lotus having reliability issues. My Elise let me down a couple of times when I had it. One time the alarm just kept going off and then it wouldn't let me switch the car on, and I was like stranded somewhere for like an hour until I figured out how to do it. But as soon as I got it fired back up and working, I was like, oh, don't worry, Lotus. I know you're hand-built in Britain and there's nothing else like you on the road. So, you know, we make excuses for them, don't we? As Lotus enthusiasts, we give them a pass. But this isn't a small production number hand-built car in Britain, is it? This is supposed to be a mass market car for the future. A car which is made in Wuhan, of all places. And at a facility where they could make like 100,000 cars a year. Like, that's what they claim. So fundamental reliability issues like this is just not acceptable anymore, is it? And this is such a shame. I wanted this video to be a positive thing. You know, I wanted my summary to be, look, I don't like SUVs. I'm not ready to go full EV yet myself because of various reasons. But look, as car enthusiasts, we should respect the fact that Lotus, it's exciting that they've got this mass-produced futuristic arm and that they're still making the cars that we love as well. It enables them to keep going, enables them to keep making cars that we love. But if this is the reality of their current mass market premium products, it's just not acceptable, is it? It's just not acceptable. You know, Lotus are trying to do the right thing. You know, they're trying to market these cars in a way that honours the heritage. You know, you can see all the little badges everywhere and stuff, and you know, even the marketing calling this a hyper SUV. Yeah, we know that's gumph, but it is car enthusiast gumph, isn't it? That's what traditionally how you always sell performance cars is. You big up the performance, and you know, so I can forgive all of that. I was planning later on this week going to a Auto Alex meet up at Caffeine and Machine, and I was going to take the Eletra with my youngest, with my 2-year-old, to make a video about, you know, going on a long road trip where I'd have to stop and charge, and just sort of seeing, like, look, real world, what's it like with young children in an electric car on a round trip where you have to stop. But this has completely shaken my confidence now in this car. So I will not be taking this, and I will not be making that video in this car, because look, it's just as well I'm stuck on the driveway. Because if I was on my test route and I pulled over and then we were stuck up there and I had my daughter in the car, like, this would have been a nightmare, waiting around for hours for somebody to turn up. So I will not be making that road trip video in this. I'll take the Gran Turismo instead. And you know a car's got fundamental reliability issues when you've got more confidence in a 15-year-old Maserati than you have in a brand new car.
So the AA arrived within the hour, which was impressive. They tried disconnecting the 12-volt battery, but nothing changed. They then removed the entire boot floor to disconnect the main battery to see if that hard reset would fix the issue. But again, nothing changed. But this did give us an opportunity to see what lies beneath the boot floor, which was fascinating. The AA spent over 2 hours with the car, and the outcome was that the car would need to be recovered back to Lotus. There was no issue with the smaller 12-volt battery, but the AA told me this is happening with other EVs. However, rather shockingly, the Eletra, like many EVs apparently, doesn't have a manual override to get the car out of park. One of my previous Dadcars, the Aston Martin Dad B9, once left me stranded, but there was a manual override lever under the rear passenger seat, which you can use to manually get the car out of park so that it can be recovered. But the Eletra doesn't have this. Here is the report from the AA if anybody wanted to pause the video and read it. So it was decided, as the car was stuck in park and no way of getting it into neutral, specialist equipment would be required to recover the vehicle. And this is where things were about to go from bad to an absolute disaster. So when this specialist recovery equipment arrived to take the Eletra back to Lotus, we realised there was going to be an access problem. There wasn't enough room in front of the car to position the machine, as there was a brick wall on my stupid driveway. And when the recovery man told me how he was going to do it, I started to panic. I tried again to get the car to just move out of park and into neutral, but even 2 days later, the car was still frozen in this state with the door handle sticking out. So in came what looked like the final boss from Robot Wars, a petrol-powered machine to rescue this EV. I couldn't see how this was going to be done without at least damaging some of the steering and suspension components, so I stood back to film it so I could at least provide evidence to Lotus if the car arrived back to them with damage.
Oh, oh, God.
Now for me, I've never actually heard the painful sound of breaking carbon fibre firsthand like this. It was horrible, it was ringing in my ears for days. But as you're about to see, I think there were some other damages to this car going on during this process. Now I did, to cover myself and Lotus' sake, get the recovery guy on camera explaining what the plan was. He spoke to his boss on the phone to confirm how this should have been done, and they both agreed to put slippery gyms under the wheels and then pull the car with some soft straps around the wheels to an angle so that the machine could then access it. And the reason I'm not including that footage is because they immediately accepted full liability for the damage. The boss also spoke to me on the phone to confirm that they would of course be taking full responsibility and be sorting it out with Lotus. And it wasn't just the car that got damaged during this recovery. My driveway took a beating. These gouges in the blockwork are quite deep. But I think you'll agree that it's quite impressive how this small but mighty petrol-powered machine was able to move this nearly 2.7 tonne EV with such ease. But at this point, the question still remained, what actually went wrong with this car? So what actually went wrong? Well, Lotus have now sent me their diagnosis of what the problem was with that Eletra. So let me read that statement now. We have learnt that the key battery depleted, which was incorrectly diagnosed as a full vehicle failure by AA. Plus, during the recovery sequence, damage has been made to the front driver's side wheel and suspension. Oh, yeah. I mean, I could hear and see that. Following on from our investigation, we have implemented further actions to make sure our press loan process runs smoothly. This includes ensuring that the AA are engaged in the importance of diagnosing and manoeuvring our cars safely. On this occasion, the spare key would have solved the issue with the Eletra not activating drive mode and Lotus AA being called. So this does mean that, say I owned that Eletra and that happened on my driveway, I could have just gone into the house where I keep the spare keys. I believe the spare keys for a Lotus they're like little cards.
and then I could have used that to activate the car and get it out of drive, and then I could have got another battery for the little pebble fob. However, that's not much help if your car isn't on your driveway and you're out and about using it in the real world, because you don't tend to carry a spare key with you all the time, do you? Now, Lotus press team have been fantastic, talking to me throughout this whole process, and they've been very apologetic as well on the phone. And they did have means in place where, had they known that was the issue, they could have got a spare key to me so that we could have got it out of drive without it having to be recovered like that. But for various reasons, that just didn't happen, and well, you saw what happened. So the long and short of it is that the battery died in the key. That is all it was. But this is concerning for a few reasons. One, at no point on the dash, on the screen, was I ever notified by that Electra in the week that I had it to say that the key fob battery was low. Never saw any message whatsoever. And also, while I was using the Lotus roadside assistance, on the screen, in the car, sat in the car, I asked them, I said, is this something that has happened with others? And they did say, yeah, this does happen. And again, you saw me say that. I said, look, is there anything else that I can try while I'm here? And they said, no, look, we just need to send someone out. And remember, this was a 24 plate car, and I filmed this video at the end of 2024. So it's not simply a case of, oh yeah, the battery just went on the fob. No. That fob is faulty, isn't it? Like, it shouldn't drain its battery in the year that it was manufactured. And look, a faulty fob that unfortunately happened to be, with a car that someone was filming and reviewing, that's really unfortunate, isn't it? So what I did today is I went onto Facebook, I found a Lotus Electra Owners Club group, and I joined the group, and then I was just about to post a message on there saying, hey, look, this happened to me, just wondering if anybody else has had a problem with their key as well. But I didn't need to post anything, because I just scrolled down, and I think the third post on here from 20 hours ago, look, that time of recording, is somebody saying, had car for just over 2 months and pebble key has stopped working. And when you read the 21 comments that were on that post, you see other owners who have had similar issues with their key. There's another one here saying, I always take my pebble key, which battery only lasts 4 weeks, and the key card. It's a bit daft having to carry the card also. Somebody else saying, happened to me after 2 months, and it was the battery. Another one here saying, changed the battery, same here, happened to me after 2,000 miles. So from that one post on a Facebook group that was done 20 hours ago, I would say that this isn't an isolated incident. The battery depleting on those pebble fobs and issues with the key isn't an isolated issue, is it? But I'm not somebody who just likes moaning about things. I like to come up with solutions. And I've got 2 suggestions that I really hope Lotus, I know we'll be watching this, I hope you listen to these and implement them as quickly as you can. Number 1, and this is something which should be quite easy to implement. So in your next software update, you need to include something which tells the driver if it detects that the key fob battery is getting low. There needs to be something very clear on that massive, huge screen in front of you that says, your key fob is getting low on battery, you need to replace this. If you don't, your car will be stuck open and stuck in park, and you will not be able to drive it. You need to change your battery as soon as possible. That needs to come up. Not once did any warning about the fob being low on battery come up anywhere in the car, the time that I had it, including the morning of when the battery went. And fortunately, like we captured at the start of this video, me and my daughter in the car, everything was working, the handles were popping in and out, and she was even playing on the screen on a game. It should have just massive warning come up saying you need to change the battery in your fob urgently. And number 2, this might be a bit harder for you to implement, but I highly recommend that you consider issuing a recall for these pebble key fobs, because if multiple owners are out there reporting that the battery is depleting in a matter of weeks or months, or as little as 2,000 miles even, that is just not acceptable. It's just not fit for purpose, is it? So you need to redesign that key fob. There's obviously a fundamental problem with that key fob. And Lotus have been so apologetic to me, calling up and apologising for, the whole series of events, everything that happened. And I want to thank him again for reaching out to me and offering me the press loan. I feel devastated that this happened whilst the car was with me, because of my stupid driveway, the damages that happened to the car. I feel really bad about that. But ultimately, if the car wasn't here on my drive, it could have broken down somewhere else. If I didn't have it, another journalist would have had it, and maybe it could have broken down in a situation which was dangerous. And you know, at least in this situation, no people were put in danger, were they? Now, I do think it's important to remember that all cars do have technical problems, and hopefully, you know, Lotus can respond to this really quickly. Get that update so that it tells you your battery's running low, you need to change it. And seriously, just change that damn key. You can't have a key that depletes its battery that quickly. But that's just what I think. I want to hear what you guys watching think, particularly if anyone watching has owned an Eletra or currently owns an Eletra. What problems have you had? You know, have you had no problems at all? Has it been absolutely fantastic? Honestly, let us know your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear from as many people as possible, particularly people who own Eletras. The first thing Lotus said to me when all this happened is, we want to get you another Eletra, and we've got a press car booked for the new year. So if you would like to see the video that I was supposed to make with the Lotus Electra, a real world family review of what owning that car would be like, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hello, right, the last part of the video that I'm filming right now and you're watching, we're recording this just hours before this video goes live. So the video that you've just watched up until this point, I sent that to Lotus at the start of this week, and today they have sent me sort of further comments and answers to some of the questions and queries that were raised over the video that you've just watched. So thank you, Lotus, for getting this response over to me today, because as we know, it's Christmas week. So I really appreciate that. And I do think that the following statement does actually give us a little bit more closure to this video and all the events that sort of led up to this part. So let me now read to you the statement from Lotus that I received today after they had seen the video. We want to clarify a few points to address the comments raised in your review. Some of the issues highlighted could have been mitigated with the Lotus Cars app, which provides the driver information on their car, such as vehicle management and key access. Additionally, while it was mentioned that the AA was in touch with the Lotus in-house team, we can confirm that no such contact occurred during the loan. Our team will be getting in touch with the AA to provide sufficient product information on our electric cars so that they can better assist our drivers. We deeply value user feedback and are committed to continually enhancing our driver experience, and will pass along your feedback to our product team. So we've got some positive reassurance there. Let me just quickly go through each of them. The first one I'll just talk about is what I said, that I mentioned that the AA was in touch with the Lotus in-house team, because the only slight edit that I did to this video, the one that you just watched to the one that I sent to Lotus, was I removed a couple of times when I referenced that the AA were talking to Lotus when they were diagnosing the issue, because I need to confess, perhaps naively, I thought that the Lotus roadside assistance was Lotus. But I believe the Lotus roadside assistance is actually a service provided by the AA. And to be clear, Lotus haven't given me any direction in editing the video. They've just been, you know, provided me additional information, and then I chose to take those two little references out just in case somebody watches the first part of the video and then thinks that the AA was talking to Lotus in-house. I didn't use those words, but yeah, basically the Lotus roadside assistance, I don't believe is actually Lotus themselves. Some of you might be watching that thinking, God, how did I not know that? Well, I mean, in my defense, on the Lotus website, it says this on the Lotus website, you know, that the roadside assistance team is highly trained and yada yada. But come on, it looks like the positive thing here is that Lotus will be in touch with the AA, with the Lotus roadside assistance team, and they're going to be providing product information on their electric car. So basically, hopefully this happened to me, but it means it's never going to happen to anybody else, because I imagine that they will really be taking this forward, and you know, everyone is going to be aware of, if you get that message on the screen, if the car's acting in this sort of way, you know, what actually is the potential reason it's doing that. And then they've also highlighted as well that there's a Lotus Cars app. So if you owned an Eletra, you downloaded that app on your phone, connected it to your car, then that will provide information on their car, such as vehicle management and key access. So even if your Pebble key did fail, if you had that on your phone, you would still be able to operate your car, get it out of drive, and and get on your way to go and get another battery. And then they finish off by confirming that they are passing my feedback onto the product team. And so I reckon that they will. They'll look into the key issue. They'll look into seeing if they can have it so the interface, the screen, pops something up to say that the battery's running low. And if there is an actual fault with some of the keys, I'm sure Lotus will look into it. But it's not a quick and easy thing to do, is it? They can't just, yeah, this is what we're doing, to get it out in time for this video. And so I'm sure by the time we get the eventual press loan replacement and we make the wonderful video that I originally had planned, because when that car was working and we were driving it around, I was using it with my children, there's a lot to like about the Electra. It's a pretty damn cool EV, to be honest. So I'm looking forward to making that review, and hopefully by then, the Lotus in-house team, like the product team, will have had a bit of a chance as well to sort of analyse and look at the key issue and even just give us some information about what they're potentially doing. But if you are looking to buy an Electra yourself, as long as you've got the app on your phone as a backup, and then you carry a key as well, I mean, even if worst case scenario it was to happen to you, if you had that backup, you should be okay. But reminder again, any Electra owners out there, people who have spent time with Electras, let us know in the comments below. Let us know if you've had any issues, but let us know what you think of the car as well. If it's been wonderful, let us know in the comments below. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.